Free will defined. The term free will was always popular among the Latins. The Greeks have a still more arrogant word for it, implying that man has power in himself. Given that everyone, even the common folk, have imbibed the idea that we all have free will, and since most of those who like to pose as learned men are unsure how far this freedom extends, let us consider first of all the meaning of the term, and then decide from the pure teaching of Scripture man's capacity to do good or evil. Now, although this term is often bandied about by all and sundry, there are very few who define it. Origen, however, appears to have arrived at a definition which everyone accepted at the time, describing it as a faculty of the reason to discriminate between good and evil, and of the will to choose one or the other. Augustine does not disagree, asserting that it is a faculty of the reason and will, by which we choose good when helped by God's grace, or evil when grace ceases. Bernard tried to be more subtle, but was less clear when he called it a consent on account of the inalienable freedom of the will and an immutable judgment of reason. Anselm's definition is scarcely more intelligible. It is the power to maintain rectitude for its own sake. Accordingly, the master of the sentences and the schoolmen preferred to accept Augustine's definition, which was simpler and did not exclude God's grace, without which they well knew the human will has no strength. Even so, these add something of their own, hoping either to express themselves better, or at least to better explain the statements of others. In the first place, they agree that the term will, arbitre, must refer to reason, whose role is to discriminate between good and evil. The accompanying terms free, libre, or unfettered, franc, properly belong to the will, which can be swayed in either direction. Since, therefore, freedom is more closely aligned with the will, Thomas Aquinas offers this as a sound definition. Free will is an elective power which, intermediate between intellect and will, inclines, however, more toward will. Here, then, is where the strength of free will lies, in the reason and in the will. It now remains to inquire how far it extends.